large condoms, chocolate syrup, gigantic tub of KY jelly. Tech fam, how's everybody doing? Jared here. Best tech under 100? Let's do it. First up, for 99 bucks, 100 bucks is the Betty Smart alarm clock. So what's so smart about the Betty Smart alarm clock? Well, it'll connect via its app to either your iOS or Android devices, and with that, it brings a ton of really, really cool features. But don't worry, the government's probably not spying on you while you sleep. Probably are. Where's my tinfoil hat? I can't find it anywhere. That damn thing keeps... So on the bottom, we've got LED RGB color changing light strips, and on the back, we've got this sort of lamp that reflects onto your wall that you can also control the brightness of with the application. And then just below the light, we've got two charging output ports, a line in port, the power port, and a service port. And then on the top, we've got 3 programmable buttons with up to 3 functions per button. Now, when you have the Betty app open on your phone, and then you go ahead and turn it into landscape mode, it'll display both the weather and what the traffic is like to your typical, for instance, morning destination, like work, for example, and then you can just toss that into your dock so that when you wake up in the morning, you can see what the weather's gonna be like and what the traffic's like. I think that's pretty cool. You can do things like change the colors of the LED light strip on the bottom or the brightness of the white light on the back of the clock. Now, through the application, it also integrates with specific services like Spotify, Nest, Philips Hue, Wemo, LifeX, and Uber. So the audio quality sounds pretty decent for an alarm clock. One more really cool feature I wanted to show off. So it's the morning. You've hit the snooze button one too many times, you're late for work, you're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, you can't find your phone just before you head out the door. Don't worry, run to your alarm clock, press one of the function buttons, and it's got a Find My Phone feature. Dope! This is hands down the coolest alarm clock that I have ever come into possession of. The Betty alarm clock, I will have a link in the description below for you guys. Next up, coming in at 100 bucks is the JBL Flip 4 that was featured earlier this year at CES 2017. This thing is impressive. Now, as you can see, it's compact, it's lightweight, and it's wrapped with this really durable nylon fabric, as well as covered around the edges with this sort of durable feeling plasticky rubber. It does have an IPX7 waterproof rating, so it is fully submersible. Submersible. Now, JBL claims 14 hours of battery life at a 50% volume playback. I managed to get approximately 15 hours out of it, so I don't know what they're talking about, but this thing has got ridiculous, awesome battery life. Now, the audio quality on the Flip 4 is awesome. It's really, really clear sounding. It's got good bass. It's not deep bass, but it's punchy bass, and it does have more of an emphasis on like the mids and the highs. $100 JBL Flip 4 of 2017. I will post a link in the description down below. Pick one up. Next up, coming in at 90 bucks is the Atomics ANC V201 Bluetooth active noise cancellation headphones. God, that's a mouthful, dude. And aside from the headphones, as you can see, we also get sort of a hard shell carrying case, and then inside there, we've got a couple of extra accessories. Had enough for you. The headphones themselves have this sort of stylish carbon fiber looking material on both the headband and the ear cups. Obviously, it's not real carbon fiber, but you knew that, right? The ear cups are fully oscillating and do lay flat. Now, the active noise cancellation works really, really well at reducing ambient noises from like city traffic and things like that. But it does still have an acceptable level of outside noise bleed. That way, when you're walking around, you don't get hit by a car quite as easily. Now, these headphones come with a claimed battery life of 25 hours at 50% volume. My usage, I managed to get about 23 hours of battery life, and that's pretty damn good. The audio quality is really good and actually really well balanced on these, with a bit of a bump to like the lows and the mids. Now, these obviously aren't gonna be as good as something like the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones. I know some of you guys are gonna be wondering about that, but at a third of the price, These are an amazing value for the money. Link for these guys, of course, will be in the description below. And next up, coming in at 70 bucks is the ODVRM 4K Action Cam. So what do you get for 70 bucks? Well, you got a 4K action camera. You get 2 rechargeable 1050 milliamp hour batteries. You get a ton of mounting hardware. I don't even know, like, what do you get a remote shutter button for both taking stills and video, and a waterproof case that's good for up to 98 feet. Oh yeah, and a pretty sweet case with cutouts to fit everything. As you can see, the action camera itself is pretty darn small. On the back, we've got a 2-inch display. On the front, we've got a 12 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor. So you can record at 4K in 24 frames per second, 2K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, and 720p at 120 frames per second. And there's a ton of different options in the settings menu. You can control the quality, the sharpness, the white balance, the color, the ISO, the exposure value. So yeah, tons of different manual control options if you want to get down and dirty. Now, as far as image quality is concerned, well, let's put it this way. After watching tons of GoPro footage, as I'm sure all of you have as well, I can understand why GoPro sort of justifies the super high price tags of their GoPros. But if you need an action camera in a pinch with all the mounting options you could ever possibly think of and a waterproof case for up to 98 feet for $70, this is pretty good. So with that said, I will have a link for this little guy in the description below as well. And finally, coming in at 100 bucks is the Haiku Smart Button. So on one side where it says Haiku, this is actually a magnet that you stick onto your fridge, for example. And then on the other side, we've got a big old button that you press. And then on the bottom is a barcode scanner. So for instance, when I run out of peanut butter, all I gotta do is press the button, the little barcode scanner pops up, and it gets added to the list. Or for instance, when I run out of hot chocolate mix, I just add it to the list. So what happens when you find a barcode that it doesn't actually recognize and you get the boop, boop, boop sound like this? That means that it didn't recognize the food item. So all you have to do is within 5 seconds of it canceling or saying that it doesn't recognize the barcode, you actually just speak what it is, Snap Pea Crisps. And then that just added it to the list so that from now on, whenever I scan this barcode, it will remember that this is Snap Pea Crisps. Now, let's say for instance, you've got an item that doesn't have a barcode at all, something like, produce, like an apple for instance. Considering this is actually magnetized to your fridge, you just walk up, press the button, apples, and then that means that it's been added to the list. Large condoms, chocolate syrup, gigantic tub of KY jelly. 100 bucks, guys, the Haiku Smart Button. Amazing, amazing product. Link for this guy and everything else in this video will be in the description below. Well, I think that about does it for this one, folks. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, show me some love and hit up that like button. And if you're new to my stuff, don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.